Hello, everyone. I'm going to start recording some videos where I observe like weird SEO setups that don't make sense to me, and then ask you to explain whether it should be the way it is or whether I'm indeed correct in asking whether the setup is correct in its current form. So I was doing some Screaming Frog testing. Basically, I was trying to crawl my own domain. It wouldn't crawl. So one of the ways to check whether it's the crawler, my site, or my internet is to try and crawl a different domain. So I tried to crawl the Coca-Cola domain, and Screaming Frog returned an error which basically said that the canonical of the main domain is canonicalizing back to a 404 page. So I thought, that's a bit weird. It's like one of the biggest brands in the world would be using the wrong canonical tags. Surely that can't be right. So I again crawled the page, and I then looked at the actual source code. And let me zoom in. And something strange is going on here. So the original domain is on HTTPS, and the canonical on the main domain's page is canonicalizing back to a non-HTTPS URL, as well as when you click on it, when you actually click on this link, it links you to coca-cola.com or https coca-cola.com/coca-cola.com, which is a 404. I don't know if this is an error or not. I can't see a reason as to why it would be this way, because obviously this initial page is the gateway to all other countries. And I would expect that if I'm Googling the .com domain globally, that it would return the .com in itself. And even the actual URL in itself has got the menu which works about the company, etc., etc. Whereas if you look at the canonicalized version on the home page, which is going to this 404 page, you can still access the menu, but it looks different, and the UX isn't really that great. So I can't see a reason as to why the canonical tag, as you can see here, would be pointing towards the non-HTTPS and a version which essentially redirects to this WRL version, which, by the way, is a separate issue. If the actual domain if the HTTP domain is redirecting to this URL here instead of the main URL, the HTTPS URL, that would also be a bit odd. So let me test that. See, that doesn't do it. It's just this canonical reference link here. So when I click on that, it gives me a 404. What do you guys think? Is there anything going on here? Surely this can't be right. I'd love to know why anyone thinks it would be set up in this way. Yeah, let me know what you think in the comments. And if this kind of stuff is interesting, finding these kinds of use cases and issues is interesting, please consider either subscribing or following me on LinkedIn or any of my other social channels. Over and out.